Hi everyone, in today's lesson we're going to talk about motion of a line part 2, where we're going to do the same motion problems, but instead we're going to use integration to solve. So I want to just cover the connections between x of t, v of t, and a of t. So if you recall, v of t is the derivative of x of t, and a of t is the derivative of v of t, or the double derivative of x of t. What I'm going to do now is, normally I was always giving you the x of t function and I was asking you to find velocity and acceleration, but now I'm going to give you the velocity function and ask you to find the standard position, or maybe give you the acceleration and ask you to find velocity and or standard position. So if moving down this, I would say ladder here, moving down, we take derivatives. If I'm asking you to go up from acceleration to velocity or velocity to standard position, you should be thinking to go up, I need to take the antiderivative. So I'd like to actually write them out for you. So if I want to find the v of t function, what we're going to have to do, so if I want v of t, I have to take the antiderivative of a of t. So I would take the integral of a of t. If I want the x of t function, I'm going to have to integrate my v of t function. Right? So moving up the ladder, if I want v of t, I take the antiderivative of a of t. And if I want x of t, I take the antiderivative of v of t. So I would write these down, and these are going to be the things that we're going to use. Basically, moving backwards between the lines. Okay, so let's look at an example. So example number 1 says, given v of t is equal to this, and that x of 2 is equal to 0, meaning standard position. So when time is 2, the standard position function is at 0. Find the equation for x of t. So they're asking for v of t given x of t. So we know if we want to find x of t, we have to integrate v of t dt. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in v of t into my integration. So 3t squared minus 12t plus 9 dt. And I want to integrate that. So now we kind of have to switch gears from what we've been learning all week, and we have to do the antiderivative. So remember, antiderivative means we add 1 to the power and then divide by that power. So this is going to be 3t to the third, add 1, divide by that power. Add 1 to the power, divide by that power. And in instance of a constant, we just add a t. And then don't forget our plus c. So my x of t function, if we want to simplify it a little bit, my x of t function is t to the third minus 6t squared plus 9t plus c. So if we knew what c was, then we could have our x of t function and everything is great. So they have to give you information so that you can find c. And they do. They give you, it's called the initial condition. And we discussed that a couple weeks ago, where this is the initial condition. So they tell you, I'm just going to write it over here, that x of 2 is equal to 0. So this means when the t value is 2, the y value is 0, or my x of t. So this x of t is my y value, and that's 0. And my t value is 2. So everywhere I have a parenthesis is where I'm going to put 2. And then I can solve for c. So take a minute, plug all this into the calculator just the way you see it, and then hit resume when you're ready for the answer. Okay, so you should have gotten 2. So we have 0 equals 2 plus c, and then we minus 2 from both sides. So we get c is equal to negative 2. So my final answer for x of t is going to be to use this equation, but then substitute c for negative 2. So x of t is equal to t to the third minus 6t squared plus 9t minus 2. And this is my final answer. Okay, so I'd like to try another example. So here I'm giving you the acceleration function and that the velocity function at 0 is 24. So what that means is at time is 0, my velocity is 24. And I'm giving you x of 1 is 20, which means my standard position at time is equal to 1 is 20. And I want you to find the equations for both v of t and x of t. So the first thing that I want to do is write down the relationship between a of t and v of t. So if I want to find v of t, I need to integrate a of t. And then if I want to find x of t, I have to integrate v of t. So these are my two formulas that I'm going to need to use. Now I have to do this one first before I can do this one. So let's take our step number 1. Let's take the antiderivative of a of t. So I want to take the antiderivative of 6t minus 18 dt. So remember, when we do the antiderivative, we add 1 to the power and divide by that power. And if it's a constant, we just add a t, and then don't forget your c. So v of t equals, and we can simplify this a little bit, v of t is equal to 3t squared minus 18t plus c. So now our goal is to find that c value. They tell us that v of 0 is 24. So this is the information that we're going to use. So this will help us with this guy. So the t is in place as 0. So every time I see a t, I'm going to put 0. And everywhere I see a v of t, right? So v of 0 is 24. So the y value goes here. And then we're going to solve for c. So go ahead, type all of this into the calculator just the way you see it, and give me a number. I believe you get 0, so it's just 24 equals 0 plus c. So 24 is just c. So if we put it all together, my v of t is 3t squared minus 18t plus 24. This is my v of t function. And now I'm going to use this information to find my x of t function. So I'm going to go ahead now and integrate v of t. v of t is 3t squared minus 18t plus 24. So remember, when we integrate, we add 1 to the power and divide by that power. Add 1 to the power, divide by that power. If it's a constant, we add a t, and don't forget our plus c. And this is my x of t function. So I can simplify a little bit. My x of t is t to the third minus 9t squared plus 24t plus c. So to find this c value, I need to use the x of t information, which is here. So I want to now use this information to help me with this one. So the 1 is my t, and the 20 is going to be my x of t. So x of t is 20, and everywhere I see a t, I'm going to put 1. And go ahead and type all of this into your calculator, and then hit resume when you have an answer. Okay, so you should have gotten 16. So you have 20 equals 16 plus c, and then simply solve for c, and you should get 4. And if we put it all together, my x of t answer is, again, I'm using this one here, just now putting in my c value. So you should be getting t to the third minus 9t squared plus 24t then plus 4. So this is my x of t function. All right, I think that's enough for today. If you have any questions, please let me know. Have a good night.